Welcome back to Girl Talk. We are here with our friend Ian today from Custom Audio Video. We have a special segment. We're going to show you some new technology today. Sure. So what we're going to do is I am going to step out. I'm going to say hello and thank you for joining us on Girl Talk. And you are going to talk to our Sony rep, Chris.
Sure, I'm going to talk to Chris and we'll see what this is all about. We're quite excited. We have a projector with the HDR content and we've got a TV behind us that has HDR, and Chris will tell us what that's all about.
You're not going to want to miss this.
Hi, we're back on Girl Talk. It's Ian Brown from Custom Audio Video. I'm here with our Sony rep, Chris Cowdery, and we're quite excited today because Chris brought a Sony flagship SXRD projector, 4K, top of the range, and we're doing a presentation for our staff here today, and it is something else. It really is. You can see that technology in our showroom though on other products. We have some other stuff, but Chris is going to tell us a little bit about why that projector is special. Explain the projector and tell us a bit about 4K HDR content in general.
Sure. So 4K is a much higher resolution than we're used to from standard 1080p high definition. It's about twice the resolution. This TV behind us here is showing 4K content. The projector that we have is a laser projector, and one of the benefits of that is it's much brighter. So television screens like this one here are very bright, and sometimes projectors have a tendency to be dark. They need to be in a light-controlled room, as you know, Ian. And so with this projector that we're showing in the other room, it is about 5,000 lumens, and what that means to you is it's a brighter image, and in a light-controlled room, it's really going to look like a true movie theater. But even in a room that doesn't have great light control, the guys here at CAV know how to make it work with the right screens and still provide a really punchy, bright picture like you see behind us here. The other benefit of the laser projector is it's 20,000 hours to half brightness, and what that means is it takes about 10 years time to get down to half brightness. So if you watch the projector every day, for a few hours a day, you'd have about 10 years before it's at half brightness. The other advantage of that is that that rate of decay is so slow, the human eye really never perceives that, and the projector is always compensating. So 10 years from now, your perception is that it looks like it did the day you bought it. There are no light bulbs to replace, none of those other sort of things. So it's very cost effective over the life of the projector.
That's an important thing, because one of the complaints we've had with traditional projection systems before is the lamp burns out and we have to change it, and it costs, you know, $600 or whatever it is for a lamp. So, you know, the LED and laser technology has come on a long way, and we've seen fantastic leaps forward in, you know, clarity of picture, and now the 4K HDR really brings that into its own. SXRD's been around for a long time, but it's the SXRD that really makes the picture as bright as it is.
It does, and so I want to touch back on what Ian said about the lamps too. And a lamp-based product, and there's certainly nothing wrong with that. We sell lots of those and they work great, but one of the differences between it and the laser-based product too is that those light bulbs, the light source that's in them, they decay very quickly right out of the gate, and then they kind of level off for a little while, and then they start to go back down. So you can expect to get about 2,000 to 3,000 hours, which if you're using it every day, might not last that long. So again, that's one of the benefits of laser. In our projectors, as Ian mentioned, we use SXRD technology. It's a silicon display technology. There are actually 3 chips in there that are all native 4K, a red, a green, and a blue. And competing solutions are really not showing native 4K content. While they'll accept the 4K source and they kind of cleverly put names on the box that might suggest they're 4K, they are really not 4K, and certainly not in the price ranges that we are. So we've got several projectors that are native 4K, just like you would find in the theater. In fact, most digital 4K presentations in movie theaters that you go to see are shown on a Sony 4K projector.
So how about this other catch abbreviation that we hear, the HDR?
HDR, yeah. HDR stands for High Dynamic Range. So it's a standard that's been sort of put together in the industry. And it deals with a couple of things. One important factor is peak overall brightness, which television manufacturers will express as nits. So it would be up to 10,000 nits, which today there really isn't anything that gets there, but there are products like this TV behind you that get close and close enough. And so through the magic of video processing, we can maximize as much of that picture as possible. So brightness is essential to HDR, but it stands for High Dynamic Range. So it's brightness, it's the color gamut, it's a much broader color space. We were dealing with a box of crayons that were this big, okay? And today we're dealing with a box of crayons that's this big. And when we show you some images of this projector, you'll see a dramatic difference between the colors in HDR and non-HDR. And then it's that the entire range from absolute black to peak brightness. That entire range, there's so much more shadow detail. The picture is just unbelievable, three-dimensional.
It is fantastic stuff.
Yeah.
So, you know, a range of products we have here in the store, this Z9D that's behind us. We also have Sony's entry-level 4K projector, the 365. Same technology throughout, obviously differences, price differences, etc. But I'd encourage people to come in, see what this is all about, you know, the 4K HDR, and we will, you know, give you explanations and prices and hopefully come and install one in your home. What else?
So I guess we wanted to just mention that the Z9D that you see behind us here is Sony's flagship television, and it is the flagship because it does all of those things that we just mentioned. It is a 4K television, UHD to be specific, and then it is HDR, okay? It is the brightest TV that we make. Being an LCD, it can produce as close as we can get right now to those magical 10,000 nits, right? So the brightness, the contrast, the color saturation, we call this backlight master drive. It is the reference. It's what all the video guys in the business use for calibration and the reference point.
So this Z9D, this one's a 65-inch. This particular one is 3 sizes, 65, 75, and a 100, which is spectacular. Please come in, see this one. Thanks for joining us. Thanks, Chris.
Thank you.
See you next time on Girl Talk. Bye.
Bye-bye.